Good morning. It's Wednesday, March 4th. Here is what we're working on this morning.
I'm Simone Gavros reporting live in Caledonia. OPP have closed a stretch of road after a vehicle hit a hydro pole.
Gas prices have jumped because of the conflict in the Middle East.
Scotty. It's taken away. 3-on-1 Hart.
And the New York curse continues as the Raptors lose to the Knicks for the 12th time. Happy Hump Day here on Morning Live. Weather-wise, are we going to see some sun, some clouds, some mixed precipitation? Steve, what are we looking at today?
Well, we're going to get precipitation, but that's not till tomorrow and the next few days. Today, though, we've got a nice sunny day ahead of us. Temperatures a degree or so above normal for this time of year, so really can't complain about a nice day like this. So we're going to the weather in just a few minutes, but now just a minute or so after 6 in the morning, let's have a quick look and see what's happening on your roads. So far, seeing no major problems. And again, today, for the third straight day here now, weather not a factor in the drive to work, although you'll notice down here in the Niagara area, a little bit of foggy conditions out here, and that's kind of a warning from Environment Canada. There's some patchy fog out there. We'll show you exactly where that would be a little bit later on. QEW and the Skyway here, Burlington looking okay. Walker's Line starting to build up as you head into from Burlington into the Oakville area. So again, just normal conditions out there for this time of day. Up by the Ford plant, seeing no problems. Erin Mills Parkway not working for us. 403 Eglinton Avenue seems to be okay. Up by Pearson Airport, it's busy, and again, maybe it's going to be like yesterday where we did see a flurry of activity just after 6 and then things settled down quietly for the rest of the morning. Let's hope it happens that way. 401 west of the 400 looking in good shape, and looking at the basket weave along the 401 there. Again, everything moving along okay. So good start to the day, traffic-wise, weather-wise. We're looking for a nice day. We'll talk about all kinds of nice things in the next few minutes.
Thank you, Steve. The OPP have closed a stretch of road in Caledonia following a car crash early this morning. Simone Gavros joins us live from the scene with more. Good morning, Simone.
Good morning, Rick. OPP say this crash happened around 1 a.m. this morning. And where I'm standing right now, this is at McClung Road and Haldeman Road 66. Now you can see that repairs are being made right now by Hydro One, and they're fixing the hydro pole that was hit early this morning by this one vehicle. OPP tell me via email that that there was no injuries after this crash happened. And they did say that there's going to be some closures in place here in Caledonia while crews are going to be fixing this pole. So that closure is going to be on McClung Road between Haldeman Road 66 and Rainbow Drive. This again happened around 1 a.m. and I did reach out to Hydro One to see if there was any outages because of this pole coming down. They haven't got back to me just yet, but just looking on their website, doesn't look like that caused any power outages in the area. So we're going to be just following this closely to see when those roads are going to be reopening. You are able to come down McClung Road and then go down Haldeman Road 66, so there's not a complete closure there, but if you are trying to pass through on McClung, you're not able to at this time. So I have been talking with OPP via email just to see if they have any information about when those roads are going to be reopening, but for the time being, as you can see, the pole has yet to be put back up. So we're going to be just keeping an eye on that and following any of those updates to see when everything can reopen this morning. Just plan accordingly as you're heading through this area in Caledonia. For now, things back over to you, Annette.
Okay, roads have reopened after 2 people were sent to hospital in a crash in Flamborough. 3 vehicles collided on Highway 5 between Millgrove Side Road and Rockchapel Road. So this was around 6:30 last night. The OPP are still investigating what caused the crash. The 2 people sent to hospital are expected to recover.
You're likely going to notice a spike at the gas pumps today, with prices climbing due to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Analysts say gas prices have already gone up by about 6 cents today, with another jump expected tomorrow. The spike is being seen across the country. Prices in the Hamilton area are anywhere from $1.28 to $1.43 a liter. The disruption in the Strait of Hormuz is sharply restricting global supply, adding further pressure at the pumps.
A fire at a Hamilton dealership that we told you about yesterday on Morning Live is now being investigated as an arson. 3 pickup trucks parked at the back of Bay King Chrysler on Rymel at Upper James were destroyed by fire early Tuesday. Another vehicle was badly damaged. Detectives are trying to pin down just how many people were involved, adding it looks as though flammable liquid was poured on the trucks.
At this point, we're too early in the investigation to get into motive. We're just trying to gather as much video surveillance, witness statements. If you're driving by the area during that time and you have information that you feel it can be helpful, it would be great if you could get in contact with detectives.
Damage is estimated to be $200,000 or more.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada's support of U.S. efforts to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons comes with regrets. Continuing his visit in Australia, Carney says the strikes against Iran are an indication of the erosion of international law. He says Canada was not informed of or asked to participate in the current action against Iran. He went on to say that Canada has long supported the imperative of neutralizing this grave global threat, saying Iran's regime is the biggest exporter of terror in the world.
Israel this morning says it has hit several military targets across Iran's capital of Tehran. Israel says it targeted the headquarters of a paramilitary force that's linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Missile launch sites and defense systems have also been targeted, along with a supply and logistics directorate that's affiliated with the regime's ground forces. Yesterday, an Iranian drone strike hit a parking lot that's right next to the U.S. consulate building in Dubai.
A Hamilton couple is speaking out about their harrowing ordeal in the Middle East after fleeing Iranian missile strikes and crossing the desert to escape the escalating conflict. Dawn Harrington and her husband told CHCH News they could see billowing smoke from their hotel room just north of Dubai following missile attacks in that area. The couple had been scheduled to fly home Sunday on Air Canada, but their flight was canceled as tensions intensified. With few options left, they took matters into their own hands, boarding a cash-only bus out of Dubai and traveling across the desert to Riyadh, hoping to stay ahead of the growing war in the region.
15 hours of grueling, sand dunes, desolate, sleepy drivers, wondering if I was going to get through the border. Watched this driver for 15 hours to make sure he could get us there safe.
Dawn says she registered with Global Affairs Canada but describes the communication as vague, adding no direct assistance or financial help has been offered to get them home. In a statement to CHCH News, Global Affairs Canada says, quote, Canadians in an affected country should prepare contingency plans that don't rely on the Government of Canada's assistance for departure.
Now, the U.S. Senate is headed towards a vote this afternoon on President Donald Trump's decision to start a war against Iran. The legislation, known as a War Powers Resolution, gives lawmakers a chance to demand congressional approval before any further attacks are carried out. President Donald Trump has not ruled out the possibility of sending U.S. ground troops. In other news this morning, for the first time since the pandemic, the number of vehicles stolen in Hamilton actually dropped last year. Hamilton police say 1,388 cars, trucks, and motorcycles were stolen in 2025. That's a 14% decrease from the year before, and it follows a trend across Ontario. Now, the nonprofit GTHA Association, which works with insurers, says they don't want to give a false sense of security because the cost of vehicle thefts is still historically high, and there's a big ripple effect.
It's not just a property crime. It's not a victimless crime. They're using the vehicle as a commodity, and that's what they're profiting from. Portions of that is going to organized crime to fund their criminal activity, whether it be drugs or firearms.
GTHA's Vice President of Investigative Services says insurance claims for auto theft totaled $900 million across Canada last year. Speaking of millions, here's your chance to win $100 in Lotto 649 with Encore lottery tickets in the new Lotto 649.
Tonight's Gold Ball jackpot is worth $40 million, plus the classic jackpot of $5 million. Find your possible and enter at chch.com/contests. Toronto Raptors continue to struggle against the New York Knicks.
Scotty. It's taken away. 3-on-1. Hart.
Jalen Brunson had 26 points and 10 assists to lead the Knicks past the Raptors 111-95. It was Toronto's fourth straight loss against New York this season. all by at least 16 points, and 12th consecutive loss overall versus the Knicks dating back to 2023. Brandon Ingram scored 31 points for Toronto, who've lost their last 4 home games, and are 4-10 against Atlantic Division opponents, 4-16 against the NBA's top 10 teams.
The Sabres find a way to keep possession. Nice drop pass as they gain. Thompson scores! Tage Thompson!
After being honored for helping the U.S. win an Olympic gold medal in hockey, Tage Thompson scored the winning goal in the second period as the Sabres topped Vegas 3-2. It's Buffalo's 4th straight win and pushes them into sole possession of second place in the Atlantic Division, 2 points up on Detroit. And with the NHL trade deadline approaching on Friday, the Sabres are reportedly interested in acquiring 26-year-old forward Robert Thomas from St. Louis. What a game in Edmonton, where the Oilers rallied from a 2-goal deficit in the third period and stunned Ottawa 5-4 in overtime. Evan Bouchard scored the winner on the power play. Leon Draisaitl had 2 goals and 3 assists in the win. Cole Perfetti tied the game with 39 seconds left, and Mark Scheifele scored 2 minutes into overtime as the Jets rallied past the Chicago Blackhawks 3-2. Connor Bedard had a couple of assists for the Hawks. The Dallas Stars have pushed their franchise record-winning streak to 10 games after they slammed the Flames 6-1. Sam Steele led the way with 2 goals and an assist, while Macklin Celebrini scored his 30th goal of the season and added 3 helpers as the Sharks outslugged the Canadiens 7-5. The Habs scored 3 times in the third to tie the game at 5, but the Sharks battled back for the win. The Blue Jays hosted Canada's World Baseball Classic team in an exhibition game in Florida. Burlington's Owen Casey showcased his defense by preventing George Springer from getting a hit. The Marlins outfielder went 1 for 3 at the plate. His only hit of the afternoon was this RBI single off Lazaro Estrada in the 6th. That trimmed the Jays' lead to 7-2. Riley Terada smoked a 3-run homer in the 8th inning to give the Blue Jays a 10-7 win over Team Canada. The Canadians will open the World Baseball Classic Saturday against Colombia. Alberta's Kevin Cooey drew to the button with his final stone to beat Manitoba's Matt Dunstone 7-6 in a battle of 4-0 teams at the Brier in St. John's. Cooey, who leads Pool B, joins Pool A co-leaders Canada's Brad Jacobs and Brad Gushu of Newfoundland and Labrador as the only 5-0 rinks heading into today's action. The top 3 teams in each pool advance to Friday's playoffs. Sunday's Brier winner will represent Canada at the Men's World Championship in Utah starting March 27th. The Arizona Cardinals have told 2-time Pro Bowl quarterback Kyler Murray that they plan to release him at the beginning of the new league year on March 11th. The #1 overall pick in 2019, who's owed $36.8 million in guaranteed money this year, will be free to sign with any team once he's released. The 28-year-old posted a goodbye message to Arizona's fans on social media, expressing regrets that he couldn't have more success with the franchise. He led the team to the playoffs just once during his 7-year tenure, a wild card playoff loss in 2021.
Okay, 6:13 on your Wednesday. Let's have a look and see what's happening on the roads right now. And you can kind of tell looking at our live camera here. We'll get to that one in a little while. But there's foggy patches out there. So Environment Canada says just be aware of that in a variety of areas. We'll get to that in a second. But on the roads right now at 6:13, we are seeing things start to build up around the Burlington Skyway Bridge and heading into the Toronto area here closest to us, as you would expect. Down towards Niagara, again, traffic's fairly light, but you do see a little bit of patchy fog here. QEW Walker's line up by the airport. We're seeing, again, things build up pretty quickly right there. Moving back here to 403 and here Ontario Street, seeing no major problems out there at all. So we're in good shape on the roads. So let's hope it stays that way, but we'll update you as we go along this morning. But again, just watch out for that fog. So sunny day today, mostly sunny day today. May see a few clouds, but mostly sunny day thanks to high pressure. But it's going to be just sort of a one-off at this point. And we're looking for low pressure to move in, a series actually of little low pressure systems with some rain, but also coming with that rain as we get into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, warmer temperatures. And we'll get into, by the looks of things, maybe some double-digit temperatures as we get into the weekend. That's kind of exciting. For today will be maybe 4 degrees above seasonal, so can't really complain about that at all. As we look ahead here, where's the foggy patches this morning? Well, we see them here down towards the Niagara area, Kitchener, along the North Shore and the area of Lake Huron, or not Lake Huron, but Lake Erie, and down towards the Delhi, Norfolk area. So again, we're watching these areas as well. So if you're heading out the next little while before the fog gets burned off, that could be out there where you are. So for today, sun will be up at 6:51, down at 6:13 p.m. Normal highs 2 degrees this time of year, and we're looking for again some high pressure to give us some not bad conditions out there today. Some sunny conditions, a little warmer air ahead of this push of this low pressure system, which tomorrow will bring us some drizzly conditions. So for today, we're looking for a high of 6 degrees, which is kind of nice, mostly sunny, and 15 kilometer-an-hour winds, so a little bit lighter than they were yesterday. For tonight, in around the freezing mark, maybe -1, foggy patches possible with some light winds, and that's why we're getting the fog. And tomorrow, high of 3 degrees, down a little bit, but still a degree above seasonal with some fog and some drizzle settling in, but I think the temperatures help that just a little bit. We'll look at the extended forecast coming up in a few minutes, but that's it for now.
All right, thank you, Steve. Coming up after the break, we're going to say good morning to Emily. She'll have a preview of what's coming up in Chit Chat this morning. And in business news, a battery park in Hagersville is the largest of its kind in Canada. The details after the break. We say good morning to Emily Vukovic. Emily, what's coming up in Chit Chat this morning?
Hi, good morning. They're back. The OG Scary Movie Squad is returning for a 6th installment of the raunchy parody franchise. It was really hard to find a portion of the trailer that I could actually show on television. Like really hard, disturbingly hard.
Okay.
Ozfest is officially returning next year. A lot of people are excited about that. And later on this morning, Burger King president is throwing some shade at McDonald's CEO with a massive burger bite, and now all I want is a Whopper. That's all I want. I'm so hungry and I want a Whopper.
As long as you bring enough for the rest of us, we're okay with that.
Totally.
Okay, thanks, Emily. Checking the markets this morning, the dollar is up slightly, trading at 73.14 cents U.S. Gold is up $68 an ounce. Crude oil is up, trading at $76.50 U.S. a barrel. In midday European trading, London, Frankfurt, and Paris all up this hour.
Another really bad day for Asian markets today, with Tokyo finishing down more than 2,000 points. At one point, they had to stop trading in South Korea because shares had fallen so low. Now, Tuesday's close in North America saw the TSX, Dow, and NASDAQ tumbling. The TSX dropped more than 750 points.
A battery park outside Hagersville is now the largest of its kind in Canada. It holds enough energy for up to 4 hours of continuous full power delivery to Ontario's electricity system. The battery system absorbs and releases power depending on supply and demand. Borlex out of France and 6 nations of the Grand River Development Corporation are partners in the $325 million project. The Hagersville Battery Energy Storage Park will be officially opened this spring.
An iconic Canadian clothing company may put itself up for sale. It's one of the options that Roots is going over as it tries to maximize value for shareholders. Roots has hired U.S. investment firm JP Morgan Chase as part of a strategic review. Roots was established in 1973, and it has over 100 stores in Canada and more than 100 partner-operated stores in Asia. It closed most of its stores in the United States during the pandemic.
Retail hours in Quebec are getting a temporary shake-up. Starting March 11th, a one-year pilot project will allow stores to stay open until 9 p.m. on weekends instead of the current 5 p.m. closing time. Some retailers say the added flexibility could draw in more customers and boost sales. But several boutique owners argue longer hours won't necessarily mean more business and may simply drive up staffing costs. Shopping centers across Montreal say they'll decide individually whether to extend their weekend hours.
Apple has introduced a series of MacBook laptops with a lower starting price. The MacBook Air laptop starts at $1,500 Canadian for the 13-inch screen version. The MacBook Pro series with the M5 Pro chip starts at $3,000. The Mac generates a smaller share of revenue for Apple than the iPhone does, but it's still strategically important for Apple's education, creative services, and higher-end consumer segments.
Quick time out here on Morning Live. Steve's going to be back with your traffic update and 7-day weather forecast. Good morning.
Welcome back to Morning Live. Okay, 6:24 on your Wednesday. It's going to be a nice sunny day today by the looks of things, but we do have some foggy conditions. And I don't know if it is affecting things this morning, but it seems like it's a busier day today in some spots than it has been for the last couple of days. But looking at the Burlington Skyway Bridge, heading towards the Burlington area from Stony Creek and Hamilton into Oakville and the Toronto area is slow right now. So it's been slower than it's been for a couple of days. Down coming out of Niagara, again, a little foggy conditions out there. So be aware of that when you're heading out the door. QW Welland seeing no major problems out there. Brant Street is starting to build up, but maybe a little bit lighter. So I guess the traffic is ebbing and flowing right now. And by the Ford plant, seeing no problems. Up by Pearson Airport, it's fairly busy, but again, traffic looks like it's moving at pretty good speed out there. 400 Steeles Avenue, seeing no major problems out there. So let's hope it continues. Are getting some reports of some heavier fog down towards, say, between Woodstock and the London area along the 401. So just be aware of that as you're heading down, if you're heading down that direction this morning until it gets all burned off by the sun. All right, let's check our weather right now. Actually, we'll start with some temperatures. Here's what we've got on the go. So certainly a little more pleasing to start the day than it's been for the last little while. Hamilton -5, Grimsby -2, along with Toronto and Mississauga as well. And again, heading for maybe 3 or 4 degrees above seasonal. High pressure, a little bit of high pressure will give us some sunny skies for today, but we are looking at the first of a series of lows coming in tomorrow, which will keep things unsettled for the next 3 days into Saturday. And also coming with that will be some warmer temperatures as well. We may even get into double digits. Your day planner looks like this, up to 6 degrees in the afternoon. So a very pleasant day ahead of us with light winds. So nobody complain about that. And your evening commute will be under, again, mostly clear skies with 5 degrees, but increasing clouds as the time goes along. And looking ahead, we'll get into the wetter weather as we get into the weekend. Of course, the clocks go ahead Saturday night, and then next week it looks drier, but still kind of nice temperature-wise. That's a look at things for now.
Okay, let's look at things far, far away. NASA says it's found a galaxy that may have more dark matter than any ever discovered.
The Hubble Space Telescope has detected what scientists are calling Candidate Dark Galaxy 2. They think it might be made up of at least 99.9% dark matter. That matter is invisible, but researchers have ways of inferring it's there. Well, we can see it's dark.
Okay, I have no idea what this means or the significance of it, but I'm sure it's huge.
Let's just say far away from this dark matter. I think that's a good call. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. We're going to brighten up your day.
Yes.